With the trailer for Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse revealing its inclusion of, well, pretty much every spider person ever, here are the most powerful Spider-Man variants that we will see in the animated film. We start off our list with a lesser-known spider character who does not actually have any special abilities, unless you consider girl power a superpower, which I totally do. Maybelle Riley is Lady Spider, the Earth 803 counterpart to Aunt May from Earth 616, who was bit by a spider that did not give her any powers, rather taught her a valuable life lesson. Yes, really, no radioactivity, no superhuman physiology, no Spidey sense. Just a good old-fashioned inspiration and wisdom. To make up for her lack of superpowers, she built herself a suit with mechanical arms, akin to the Iron Spider suit, and constructed web shooters in order to swing around town. Without superpowers and no nephews or Uncle Ben in sight, Lady Spider is one of the more obscure spider people on our list, and may even be the weakest of the lot, huh? See what I did there?
I see. Yeah.
Last seen returning to her home universe at the end of Into the Spider-Verse, Spider-Gwen is back in Across the Spider-Verse and is looking to recruit Miles Morales to her team.
Hey guys.
A fan favorite. Spider-Gwen is, of course, the Gwen Stacy of Earth 6-5, and has most recently taken on the moniker of Ghost Spider in the comic books. Spider-Gwen has always generally been described as less powerful than Spider-Man physically, and it should be noted that she was recently stripped of her powers in the comic books. However, Spider-Gwen is bonded with the Venom symbiote, becoming Gwenom, and even has a plethora of variants of her own across what's been dubbed as the Gwenverse. We have not seen Gwen tap into her peak powers or encounter a symbiote in the animated franchise yet, but surely an ascension of some sort is on the horizon. What would Across the Spider-Verse be if Peter B. Parker and friends weren't involved in the movie in some capacity, right? We know that there's gonna be like a gazillion spider guys and gals in the upcoming Spider-Verse sequel, and we also know for a fact that good old PDB is returning as well. Therefore, it only makes sense that Spider-Man Noir, Penny Parker, and Spider-Ham will also turn up again too, right? Right? Quit leaving me hanging.
Nope, that was everything.
Okay, I kid. Peter B. Parker is an older version of the Spider-Man that we are familiar with. Therefore, we know his sheer will and amazing physical abilities, not to mention his exceptional intelligence.
What would I do if I were me?
The mother of another character that we will discuss later on this list, and the Mary Jane Watson of Earth 18119, MJ is Spinneret, garnering her powers by wearing a suit designed by her husband Spider-Man that actually draws from and dampens his abilities. Spinneret was surprisingly spotted alongside her daughter in the Across the Spider-Verse trailers. Because MJ's suit is fueled off of the radiation emitted from Peter's blood, it essentially cuts his power level in half and splits it between the two spouses. At one point, Spinneret's suit did bond with the Venom symbiote, imbuing her with even more power, but that was short-lived. Although I highly doubt that we will see Venom corrupt any Spider-Kin, powering them up, I do think that we will see Spinneret and her family kick some butt, and we'll probably meet multiple versions of Mary Jane too. Getting completely wacky with the next entry on our list, Bagman is the alter ego donned by Peter Parker when the Venom symbiote separated from him and he had to throw on a quick costume in order to conceal his identity. Rocking a spare Fantastic Four suit and throwing a paper bag over his head, the Amazing Spider-Man quickly became the bombastic Bagman for a brief period of time. Now, it's unclear if the Bagman that we saw in the Across the Spider-Verse trailer is any more or less powerful than your average friendly neighborhood Spider-Man, but if the comics are anything to go by, this is just an alternate Peter Parker in a hilarious outfit. Another zany entry on our list, Spider-Cop is recognized as a grizzled veteran of the NYPD. From working the beat to cleaning the streets, Spider-Cop uses his powers as a member of his universe's local police force. An officer of the law, Spider-Cop has only ever made one appearance in comics and will now be in Across the Spider-Verse. What separates Spider-Cop from most Spider variants is simple. Imagine Spider-Man, but with top-notch police training. Hobie Brown is Spider-Punk, a punk rock version of Spider-Man from Marvel's alternate punk rock universe called Earth 138. It's bodacious, dude. Hobie is a foul-mouthed teenager and activist who plays in a gnarly band, dude. Bitten by a spider, irradiated with illegal waste, Hobie would become Spider-Punk, dedicating his life to fighting for freedom. Tubular. What separates Spider-Punk from other Spider-Men is his toughness and stamina. Performing rock concerts is quite the cardio workout, and I'm sure Spider-Punk has enjoyed a mosh pit or two in his day. Plus, he totally shreds on guitar and is not afraid to put his flying V upside someone's head. Totally excellent! I, for one, look forward to hearing some of Spider-Punk's radical riffs in Across the Spider-Verse. Another character who uses the name Spider-Woman, and an individual who has also called herself Spider-Girl in the past. Mayday Parker is the superhero daughter of Peter Parker and Mary Jane Watson from Earth 982. In this universe, Mayday got her powers from her father. Developing her powers naturally, it is not clear if she's technically a mutant or not, but it should be noted that her spider senses are far greater than her father's. It should also be noted that Mayday only appears as a baby in the Across the Spider-Verse film, so I'm not sure if we will actually see any of these powers in action. Although she is physically inferior to her father, her powers are derived organically, and factoring in her intellect and enhanced Spidey sense in Mayday swings up a few notches on our list. Mayday isn't the only spider daughter crawling around the crevices of the Spider-Verse. Anime or Annie Parker from Earth 18119, whose mother is the aforementioned Spinneret, has taken on the superhero aliases of Amp, Spiderling, and currently Nestling. Developing superpowers in her youth, much like Mayday, Annie is also physically inferior to her dad, and also has a spider sense that is borderline psychic. Nestling is shown the ability to see up to 30 minutes into the future, which is far greater precognition than any other spider person that comes to mind. Although she did need to use a suit to power her up initially, Nestling did naturally develop her spider-like powers, and alongside her spider parents, this spider family may be virtually unstoppable. No, not a Spider-Man who is incapable of sleeping, as funny as that would be, but the video game company INSOMNIAC's rendition of Spider-Man, you know, with the white trimmed suit from the PS4 and PS5 Spider-Man games. Not only did INSOMNIAC's Spider-Man suit make a cameo in Into the Spider-Verse, but the character himself will be in Across the Spider-Verse. This version of Spider-Man is a younger one who lacks experience in comparison to other variants that we might encounter on this list. With all the same base powers as any standard Spider-Man, and without me controlling them, INSOMNIAC's iteration of the Webhead is not the strongest variant that we will encounter on our list. All I want to know is, who's under the mask? The original PS4 Peter or the remastered PS5 Peter? It better not be the PS5 Peter. Ooh, I do not like the PS5 Peter. On Earth 78127, Flash Thompson's life is the exact same as his primary Earth 616 counterparts to a T. The only difference is, and this is a big difference here, Flash was bitten by a radioactive spider as opposed to Peter Parker, becoming what is essentially Spider-Man and Captain America rolled into one, and adopting the name Captain Spider in the process. Flash from this universe is definitely no slouch. There is nothing inherently unique about Captain Spider's powers in comparison to your standard Spider-Man powers, but it should be noted that Thompson's extensive military training definitely adds some gusto to his abilities. Originally from the Ultimate Universe and the focal character of the Spider-Verse film franchise, Miles Morales is the most obvious entry on our list. Not only is he the main protagonist of the aforementioned animated masterpieces, but Miles is also one of the most popular versions of Spider-Man among Marvel fans.
You good with that, Spider-Man?
Cementing himself as the primary Spider-Man of his home world and universe, Miles seemingly has all of the exact same powers from Spider-Man of Earth 616.
Spider-Man doesn't wear a cape.
That being said, Miles does possess two unique abilities that Peter Parker does not. Not only can Miles hit foes with a paralyzing venom strike, but he's also capable of camouflaging himself and his clothing to his surroundings. Regardless of his cloaking abilities, I look forward to seeing Miles Morales in the Across the Spider-Verse movie next year.
I'm grounded.
The most famous version of Spider-Woman from Marvel's primary universe, Earth 616, is Jessica Drew. With one of the most epically stereotypical superhuman origin stories in all of comics, Jessica Drew fell ill due to uranium poisoning. Her husband at the time concocted a serum containing the genetics of multiple species of spiders, and, well, you can pretty much guess the rest. Having worked for both Hydra and S.H.I.E.L.D. throughout her history, it's unclear if Spider-Woman will be presented as a hero or villain at first during the events of Across the Spider-Verse. That being said, I am willing to bet that Jessica swings on the side of good. For now. Not only does Spider-Woman possess secret spy skills rivaling the likes of Black Widow or Nick Fury, but she's also a character capable of venom, stings, and blasts. Oh, and did I mention that she can fly? Oh yeah. There are a couple of prominent characters who have taken on the mantle of the Scarlet Spider in the comics, and both are genetic clone brothers of Peter Parker. Seriously? Spider-Man's been cloned so many times in the comics, it's legitimately shocking that we have not encountered this double-troubled dilemma in any Spider-Man movie thus far. I digress. Ben Reilly and Kane have both become the Scarlet Spider, with the former being spotted in the Across the Spider-Verse trailers, and the latter being the more powerful of the two. Ben Reilly is currently a villain called Chasm in the books, and shares the exact same powers as his clone brother Peter Parker. Kane, on the other hand, has a unique and vicious ability referred to as the Mark of Kane, where tendrils come out of his hands, burning, scarring, and maiming whatever he touches. It's unknown if Kane will be in the Into the Spider-Verse sequel, but what is known is that where Ben and Peter are, Kane is likely not far away. Okay, picture this.
Oh boy.
Spider-Man meets Power Rangers,
Morphin' time!
meets that stuff everyone was taking in 21 Jump Street. In a nutshell, that's the late 1970s Japanese series Spider-Man. In this flamboyant Transformers vs. Godzilla spliced with Marvel Universe, motocross driver Takuya Yamashiro becomes Spider-Man after receiving telepathic messages and a spider bracelet. Seriously, Yamashiro possesses basically all of the same powers as any standard Spider-Man. However, he also has X-ray vision, superhuman smell, and a few other weird and unnecessary powers added to the character for who knows what reason. That being said, these unwarranted abilities stacked on top of Spider-Man's base powers, and Yamashiro naturally earns a higher ranking on our list. I, for one, am simply just happy that they are even acknowledging Takuya's existence in 2023. For the next entry on our list, we revisit the topic of anthropomorphic bug animal hybrid mutates. Werewolf Spider-Man is also another insane and terrifying spider thing that exists. Not to be confused with the totally badass wolf spider or the equally as terrifying Spider-Wolf. Werewolf Spider-Man has appeared briefly in Marvel Comics and briefly in the Across the Spider-Verse trailer. Werewolves are already legendary and cursed mythical creatures with superior strength, speed, agility, and all that good stuff. Combining that with Spider-Man's radioactive spider blood and superpowers, and Werewolf Spider-Man might be the most feral and dangerous variant on our list. The last of the most obvious entries on this list, and the most powerful Spider-Man variant, as seen in the post-credits scene of Into the Spider-Verse.
Okay, so we're just gonna roll the dice on this?
So what do you say, pal?
The timeline and multiverse hopping Miguel O'Hara, famously referred to as Spider-Man 2099, is on his way to confront Miles Morales, and he might have a cluster of spider pals accompanying him as well.
Who do you think you are? Really?
An engineer and survivor of a genetic procedure that spliced his DNA with the genes of a spider, Miguel O'Hara is a much more ruthless version of Spider-Man from the dystopian future in the year 2099, where corporatism and war plague the world. Although Miguel and Miles will start off as rivals, they will inevitably join forces to achieve the same goal, as neither of these characters are inherently evil. As the old saying goes, say it with me now, with great power comes great responsibility. And that is our list. Which Spider-Man variant are you most excited to see in Across the Spider-Verse? Let us know below and be sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss any wall-crawling comic content. See ya!